back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida. Appreciate Keith and all that great insight. Don't forget, we are doing a contest, and we're going to do this every week. This week will be a little bit different, but we're going to give away a Vibe speaker, tumbler, and a Golf Plus t-shirt. Appreciate Golf Plus being the new studio sponsor and providing some sweet swag to give away. You don't have to be a golfer to win or enjoy this particular swag. If you like to drink hot or cold beverages and listen to music, you can do it all in the same with the Vibe speaker tumbler. We sold them at Bay Point. He sells them at Golf Plus. They're very, very, very cool and unique, and something you can kind of show off with your friends.
Can I have hot and cold beverage at the same time? You said I could do it all. So is this false advertisement? Do I need to go to Golf?
I mean, what would it turn into? What would dominate? The cold, probably?
No, because if you put ice in coffee, what wins?
Initially the coffee, because it'll melt that ice, but
Right.
eventually it just turns into yeah. I haven't found a good way to make iced coffee at home. I don't know the difference. They do it in the restaurant so good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I've tried it.
The stuff at the store where you could just like pour it into your coffee.
Yeah,
then your coffee's. I don't know. But if you go to YouTube and type in, how to make good iced coffee, I'm sure you'll find a way. Got a few good comments if you want, or we got Evan Griffin taking Scotty Scheffler. What do we got if someone has a tie?
Ooh.
Since we're getting a name from them, right?
Yeah, just a name, and
we'll figure out a tiebreaker.
Yeah, we could potentially do the back nine score.
There you go.
That'll be our tiebreaker.
Yeah,
How about that?
I like that. I like that because you'll be here Friday.
Yes.
So if there is a tie, then Friday
we'll break it. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Oberg for Ed.
I like that.
Mailman Mike is taking Scotty.
Nice.
So there's your tie right
Scotty
there.
Scheffler's obviously
He's going to be one of the more
no
popular.
doubt, but usually Scotty doesn't go off in the first round. But usually there's a guy, like you said, Keith gave some great advice. Try to pick somebody from that first couple hours of the early wave on tomorrow. Let me pull up that real quick.
While you're pulling that up, we got a comment earlier from Southport Scott, and I know that you touched on this earlier. He said, hey, you guys were talking about the USS United States last week being sunk off the coast. Bay County has proposed $3 million to bring it closer to PCB than just Destin. I think they want to split the distance. I think you were talking about.
Yeah, the TDC passed unanimously yesterday to basically pay Okaloosa County $3 million to get the U.S. or the SS United States closer to Panama City here, so it can be accessible from not only Destin dive companies, but also Panama City dive companies and fishing charters, of course, too, because around those wrecks, obviously lots of fish like to gather and are great fishing spots nonetheless. All right, some of the early wave guys. I'm trying to see if there's any kind of bigger names that I would throw out there. Let's see. Michael Kim, as Keith noted, he's in that morning wave. Brian Harmon's a name I really like. He always plays well at TPC Sawgrass, and he's a very straight golf ball hitter, which is very, very important, and a good putter as well. Gary Woodland in that early wave. Tony Finau. Hideki Matsuyama, Ludwig Aubert is in there, Lucas Glover, Justin Thomas is in that early wave. There's a lot of big time names in the early wave. Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, a lot of big time names. Will Zalatoris, which is a name we really hadn't been talking about, but has 80-1 odds to win the entire tournament. But again, we are looking for a name for a first round leader after tomorrow's round, and whoever wins that, the tiebreaker will be their back nine total score. That actually won't work, David, because it's just the same person, it's the same score.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
I said that won't work as a tiebreaker, because if it's the same person, it's going to be the same score.
Yeah.
I'll figure out something to do a tiebreaker.
Take a second golfer for the second round.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And they have to call in with it. You have to call in with it. And then once you first come, first serve, so you can't pick the same golfer.
Yeah.
That's for the tiebreaker only. Evan Griffin wants to know, I'm not sure if he's talking about trying to do a contest, because we won't be able to pull this off this shortly here. But is it possible for y'all to do a 3 to 5 pick parlay for conference champion winners?
Ooh, I mean, it's possible to bet that.
I'll tell you what I'm
absolutely.
saying. No, I think he's saying like us come up with a 3 to 5.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
Gotcha.
pick 3 to 5 conferences, which I 3 is going to be my max. I'm staying away from the SEC. Yesterday we were talking about it on the afternoon show.
Anybody
It's like
could win.
I was like, I'll throw out Texas A&M and Kentucky playing in the championship.
Yeah.
That's how I don't want to pick Alabama 1 because I'll stay away from it. It's too tough. It's too volatile of a conference this year. I think when you look at the Big Ten, also tough. It would be easy to say for the Big 12 Houston, but there's just something about those top tier teams. It's like once they get far enough into the conference tournament that they're already setting their sights on March Madness. And then there's other teams who they have to pull off a miracle to get into the tournament. So, that who wants it more starts playing a big factor. So if you want to do that at 1240, I'm absolutely down to try to come up with 3 to 5, but I ain't doing 5.
Five's that'd be some wild odds, that's for sure. That is for sure. Speaking of SEC tournament play, Arkansas, South Carolina got underway. It's a little over halfway through the first half in that game. Arkansas currently leading 28-23. Also on the sticking with that Cincinnati, Iowa State, we said at the beginning of this segment, 33-24 at halftime. In the A10, or excuse me, it's the A10. Yeah, Davidson currently leading the Richmond Spiders 67-65 with hardly any time left in that game. Over there.
What time do you have over there? Because, we're a little bit behind streaming-wise. I'm at 15.6 seconds.
It says
Davidson.
15, yeah.
All right, so Davidson's going to the line right now.
You know what's crazy? If you look on Hard Rock, their stuff is always ahead.
Way ahead.
You can predict, if you're watching a sports game with other people, you can predict what's going to happen next off of the Hard Rock. Yeah, because you go in there and you're watching a game on TV and you go in to look at a live bet in Hard Rock and it's different than what's on the TV. But hey, more power to a Hard Rock there. Georgia Tech currently leading Virginia 47-39 in the second round of the ACC tournament. Who else we got?
The only way that you can beat the fastness, the quickness of Hard Rock is by watching TV on the antenna.
Yeah.
Or watching the a sporting event on the antenna, or listening to the radio. Not the stream of the radio, but the actual radio.
Absolutely. That'll keep you up to date to the second. Some more games coming up this afternoon. If you don't have anything to do this afternoon, get in front of your TV, as there'll be a lot of basketball games on. From the SWAC conference, you got Southern versus Grambling. That's a quarterfinal game. First round of the Mountain West Championship, Wyoming and San Jose State. In the A10, the second game of the opening round there of the A10, Fordham and Rhode Island. Another ACC game, Notre Dame and North Carolina. Currently, North Carolina is a 10.5-point favorite over Notre Dame. And after North Carolina's performance there against Duke over the past weekend, we'll see how they rebound after that.
But they're a team that's playing for their tournament life right now.
They're right there. They kind of need to win a few games or maybe even win the conference championship to get a automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Some Big 12 second round action, Colorado and West Virginia. SEC tournament after the opening game that's going on right now between South Carolina and Arkansas. Texas and Vanderbilt will take the floor. Texas, one of those teams, is just on the outside right now, and Vanderbilt, with potential couple wins in the tournament, might be able to secure a bid as well. Then over there to the Big Ten tournament first round, Northwestern and Minnesota. The Big East tournament, Butler and Providence. It's first round. First round in the Mountain West Championship, you got Fresno State at Nevada. The A10 Championship, LaSalle and UMass. The Minutemen, I have no idea what LaSalle's mascot is. And then in the Southland tournament, this is the championship game. You've got Lamar at McNeese. McNeese is a 12.5-point favorite in that championship game. They're 26-6 on the season. Lamar is 12-12, but McNeese only had one loss in the Southland Conference. So McNeese trying to, whoever wins that game, obviously will get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament.
LaSalle's the Explorers.
The Explorers.
Yeah, they got their logo's pretty cool. Well, it's just like a big L, but the one that I'm looking over here on Google, it's like a Three Musketeer with a telescope.
Ooh. Does he have his one leg like up on the bow of the ship?
No, it's not Captain Morgan.
Okay.
No, you don't. It's just head and arm basically,
Gotcha.
but it does look like a Three Musketeer.
There you go. Dartavian, somebody else, and somebody else.
I don't
know. On the
used to be David J and Ryan, but
that's true.
It's a Friday thing now.
Which we look forward to seeing him on Friday. Over there in the Mid-East Atlantic Conference is what MEAC stands for. You've got Maryland Eastern Shore versus Norfolk State. A little matchup between Virginia and Maryland. Norfolk State is a 15.5-point favorite in that quarterfinal matchup. The quarterfinal matchup in the MAC, that's the MAAC, that is Ryder and Quinnipiac. I know Quinnipiac is up there from New York. I believe they're the Bobcats or something like that. And then another Big Ten game, 5 p.m. this evening. You've got Iowa at Ohio State. Ohio State, a 5.5-point favorite in that one. In Conference USA, you've got University of Texas El Paso versus the Liberty Flames. Liberty is a 7.5-point favorite in that one. Moving back over to the Big East, you've got DePaul and Georgetown. Georgetown, where'd they go? A 4.5-point favorite in that one. And then back to the SEC for the two nightcap games. You got LSU and Mississippi State. I would probably take Mississippi State laying the points at 8.5 against LSU. LSU just has not had a great season this year, and I think lost their game earlier this year to Mississippi State. And then in the Patriot League Championship, you've got Navy versus American University. This is the final, so either Navy or American will be heading to the NCAA tournament after this evening. Currently, American University is a 3.5-point favorite. Is American University in the Boston area? I have no idea.
That's a Google one for me. I mean, they should be in Washington, D.C., right?
I guess.
No, I
don't know. No, I get
throwing
it.
out some craziness. American University, they play their home games at Bender Arena in Washington, D.C.
Ooh, look at you. Good job. Making a little correlation there with the United.
They're the American Eagles.
Ah!
There you go. And I bet you can't guess what colors they are.
Red, white, and blue?
Yeah, blue, white, and red, I guess, would be the order.
Okay.
But the blue is a little bit more of a royal blue,
Gotcha.
More so than Navy.
Gotcha. So a battle of the, makes sense that they're both in the Patriot League, given American University and Navy going against each other in the Patriot League Championship. That's at 6 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network.
Dude, let's see Navy get into the tournament.
That would be
baby.
fantastic. That would be fantastic. Then you got Air Force and UNLV. That's a Mountain West first-round game. UNLV heavily favored in that game. And then another second-round Big 12 Conference Championship game, K-State versus Baylor. An ACC second-round game, California versus Stanford. And then in the MEAC, another quarterfinal game between Coppin State and South Carolina State. South Carolina State heavily favored at 16.5 in that one. And then you got Jackson State versus Florida A&M in the other in the SWAC conference quarterfinal. And then Sacred Heart versus Merrimack in the MAAC quarterfinal. And then back to the Big Ten, USC playing Rutgers. USC only a 1.5-point favorite in that game. Doesn't Rutgers have a guy that's in the what's that called? The Naismith Player of the Year race?
Oh, the Wooden Award?
Yeah. I thought I saw that. If that's the case, I may take Rutgers with 1.5. That's why I kind of asked.
I feel like he'd be talked about a little bit more. Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Rutgers?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So at Rutgers plus 1.5 might be a best bet of the evening right now in the Big Ten first round matchup there between USC and Rutgers. And you got the Conference USA quarterfinal between Florida International and Jacksonville State. In the WAC, the WAC, Utah Tech versus Utah Valley. Utah Tech versus Utah Valley. That's an interesting one. Utah Valley heavily favored in that one. And then moving over to the Big West, my dad's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara versus Cal State Bakerfield. UCSB is a 5.5-point favorite in that one. The Big East tournament, Seton Hall versus Villanova. Villanova a 10.5-point favorite. Back to the SEC, the final SEC game of this Wednesday evening is between Oklahoma and Georgia. Georgia. Oklahoma really needs to win a few games to get their tournament opportunity pushed up. Georgia's kind of on that bubble as well, but Georgia is favored in this game by 3.5. Big 12 second round game tonight as well, UCF and Kansas. That is the correct, despite the Big 12 website still having the wrong score from the Utah and UCF game. They had it just flipped. That's all. Syracuse versus SMU in the ACC tournament second round matchup. That's tonight. And then moving over to the Big Sky, a lot of beautiful universities there. You've got Montana at Northern Colorado. And then another matchup in the WAC conference tournament between UT Arlington and Grand Canyon. And then one more game if you choose to watch it later in the evening, 10:30 our time. Cal Poly versus UC Davis and another first-round matchup for the Big West Championship. We'll keep you updated throughout today and tomorrow, or especially tomorrow, on all these scores and the continuation of all these conference championship brackets. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. Final segment on this Wednesday afternoon coming up next.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
Three-pointer, punch it in!
We're taking March Madness to the next level. Join our bracket challenge at ESPNPC.com to compete with the ESPN Northwest Florida listeners and staff. The top 3 brackets win cash and prizes. Join the madness at ESPNPC.com. The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge is sponsored by PCB Hobby, Pepsi, and Panama City Toyota.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
That Boot Store reminds you, with the warmer weather usually means spring is just around the corner. That Boot Store will help you celebrate any time of the year with one of the widest selections of Western wear in the area. They can fit the smallest to the largest, so bring the family and dress up Western style at an affordable price. Carhartt work clothes are available too. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burke at 15th Street, That Boot Store, where God is good all the time.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. Join the best of A winning Inside Drive with all your lines, props, and covers.
Winning
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, David, let's have some fun. I forget who asked about doing it.
Evan,
Okay.
you want to know what the name of that particular song was?
Yes.
It's called Knocking Up Beat. So
Knocking Up Beat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. If anybody's looking for some
Or
help.
that's like some
maybe-
R&B or whatever, but
some,
there you go.
Marvin Gaye or whatever it may be. And but hey,
The BPMs right there.
yes, the beats permit it.
They can match your HPMs.
I guess maybe that's the key. I don't know. But anyway, let's just go ahead and kind of put a couple together here, and I'll tell us what the odds are.
Yeah, and I don't think they have some of the bigger tournaments on as far as futures go on Hard Rock. I'm looking at here.
Yeah, it looks like it's just
Big Ten
Big
being-
East, Big Ten, Big West, MAC, Mountain West, MEAC, SWAC, and the WAC. So maybe let's just go Big East, Big Ten, and Mountain West.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, so starting with the Big East, you got it up in front of you as well?
Yeah.
All right, so you can see
If we were going SWAC, though, I'd go Jackson State just for my boy Jackson State Jeff.
There you go. Well, we can add the SWAC in there. We'll add the SWAC for a fourth one.
All right.
See what kind of odds we can get. All right.
and a possible.
All right. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. When you add that last leg, you're like, oh, I'll just add one more leg. That's
Yeah.
usually the leg that does not hit, usually the one that falls. But I'll let you, we'll just kind of do it to each, David. So why don't you go ahead and kind of put
All right,
yours
Big
together.
East.
Okay.
Are we going to go one by one?
Yeah, we'll go one by one.
All right, Big East. I'm going to go opposite of the favorite. St. John's is the favorite at plus 140.
Correct.
I'm going to go with the back-to-back defending national champions, UConn at plus 400.
I like it, the Huskies. I'm going to go with those Marquette Golden Eagles. I feel something special
Whoa,
about
I
their
like that.
plus 600, not bad, little 6-1. You know, they've been playing some good basketball as of late, and I believe they got a big victory over Xavier University to kind of finish out the regular season. All right, so you've got UConn, I've got Marquette. Moving to the Big Ten, the favorite in that is the Michigan State Spartans at plus 250, which really isn't bad odds, followed by Maryland at plus 350, and then Purdue 650, Wisconsin 650, UCLA 650, and the Fighting Illini at plus 750. All right, I'll go first on this one, David.
right.
I'll take a little bit of a longer shot on this one. I'm going to go with the Fighting Illini of Illinois at plus 750 on that one.
So we had Max in here with us yesterday, and we were going over some of the conference tournaments, and that's who he has winning it. And I mean, at plus 750, it's beautiful. I'm sitting there. Michigan State is obviously the favorite. You mentioned that. I really want to go with Izzo, but for now, it's a no. I'm going to go with the Badgers of Wisconsin. Yeah, plus 650, not looking too bad. $8 to this point would win you 300 just for a two-leg parlay.
Too bad right now, 25 wins you 1487.50. So, you know,
Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah,
let's make sure this thing doesn't hit.
yeah, absolutely. That actually, that's that's kind of tempting right there for $1,487.50.
All right.
But we'll keep it going for the excitement and keeping Evan engaged here with us. All right, what are we moving to now?
You said Mountain West.
That's right. We'll go Mountain West in that one. All right.
I guess I'll start
You go
this one
first
out.
on this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is tough, man.
Look at UNLV plus 2250.
I know. Oh, this one's so tough. I mean, do I just go to the bottom of the barrel and take the Air Force Falcons there?
Yeah,
for
plus 50,000. Yeah, that would be a wild hit there.
Man, not knowing really anything about any of these teams, I'm going to go San Diego State.
Okay.
At plus 650.
There you go, the Aztecs. I'm going to go with Boise State simply because they are playing for their tournament life. They really need a good couple wins and maybe even need to win the Mountain West Conference Championship. But I'm going to add Boise State in there for plus 425. So a $25 bet would win $7,809.38.
An $8 bet is winning $2,250 right now. And then we'll move to the SWAC, man.
Yes, yes.
And I already said what I'm going to be taking, so I'm going to take Jackson State. I think it'll be, I don't know what side of the brackets, if Southern and Jackson State will run into each other, but I'll take Jackson State, which will bring an $8 bet up to near $10,000.
Jesus, that's wild. You know what? I'm going to go with Southern. I wanted to go with Jackson State, but I'm going to go with Southern just to have one quote-unquote favorite in there. Hey, there's also a profit boost for this particular as well. So if I were to bet $10, that would win $8,277.94, and I can add a 30% profit boost to that, which would bring it up to $10,758.32. I'm going to go ahead and book that bad boy and see what happens. If I win that, then Evan, lunch is on me next time. But
A $10 bet for that parlay with the 30% profit boost would be $15,536. But I just can't. I feel like that's just throwing away $10.
it is essentially, but now I'm going to watch some of these games that I probably would have never watched.
That's what's really the best part I would say about betting, especially if you're not just betting what you know, which would be more smart. It would behoove you if you bet what you know. But then again, what do we always
really
talk about?
know?
Exactly. We think we know. That's as good as it gets.
It's that false confidence. All right, remind me again who you got.
Going UConn at plus 400 for the Big East, Wisconsin at plus 650 for the Big Ten, and the Mountain West going San Diego State and the Aztecs for plus 650, and then Jackson State Tigers out of the SWAC for plus 325.
All right, so what's your total odds on that?
It should just tell me, shouldn't
Yeah, it should at the top.
Plus 11,000, plus 119,431.
All right, I've got Marquette, Illinois, Boise State, and Southern University for odds of plus 82,679. Just goes to show you how.
But I didn't take a single favorite, and your favorite is Southern.
Yep, one favorite. The rest is not.
But how often do the favorites really win the conference
There's
tournament?
probably a stat that says not that much.
Yeah.
Just because it's so hard to win your conference tournament. But yeah, we got those booked. I think Evan too just shared something with me on Twitter, probably his particular parlay pick. Yeah, he went with UConn, Wisconsin, Boise State, and Southern, and that's
A nice little mixture of our parlay.
a $3 parlay to win $1,565.16.
I like that. I really like that parlay, bro.
Plus 52,072.
And just let me get a penny if you win.
Yeah, no, that's right. Please
Penny for your thoughts.
Please keep us posted. That's some good stuff. That was kind of fun. We'll have to maybe do one of those each round of the NCAA tournament because there's obviously a lot of games you can parlay together in that one. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit before we end the show today about some of the local action that transpired yesterday, as we had a lot of teams that were playing yesterday, and some of the scores from those games. In varsity baseball, Arnold unfortunately dropped another one in a close one to Jay, 3-2. Arnold now drops to 7-5 on the season. Jay improves to 6-4. Niceville at now 11-1, 10-1 going into the game against Mosley, hosting Mosley yesterday evening. Excuse me. Mosley put up a big fight and only lost that one 8-7. And then in girls flag football, we've been following that Destin team. They lost a heartbreaker to Booker T. Washington, 31-30. I feel that pain right there, Coach Josh, because it's always tough losing by 1 or 2 points in any version of football.
But a lot of lessons are learned in just 1-point losses.
Absolutely. You learn a lot.
Close losses.
Yeah, you learn a lot more in a close loss than a blowout win. There's no doubt about
It's like
that.
1-point loss. Oh, yeah, we learned a little bit. 2-point loss, didn't learn nothing.
Yeah. There's a fine line between those, the 1 point and the 2 point loss there. Booker T. Washington, again, 31-30 over the Destin Sharks. That's girls varsity flag football. Hopefully, in the next few years, I'll be talking about that in Bay County. Getting back to Bay County teams, varsity softball, 2 games to talk about from yesterday. North Bay Haven Academy, still undefeated. Now they dropped, and Arnold dropped their first game of the season. That was a powerhouse matchup in softball yesterday between North Bay Haven and Arnold. North Bay Haven won that one 8-1. North Bay Haven.
Was Bree?
I don't know if Bree Clark was pitching or not. I'm going to guess no, just based on that score.
8-1 is wild.
But I do know North Bay Haven's softball team is one of the best in the area.
Yeah, Banji repeatedly has them at number 1 on the power rankings. When we'll have them on today at 4:20.
Doesn't look like that's going to change with this week's power rankings, especially after beating what was the undefeated Arnold Marlins girls softball team. And then one more in softball from yesterday night. You had Mosley, who traveled up to Bozeman. Bozeman won that one 10-0. So Bozeman improves to 5-2 on the season. A couple games in the area tonight. Varsity baseball, you got Bozeman heading over to Wakulla. Bozeman trying to go 12-1. Wakulla trying to go 8-3. Good matchup there. I believe that's both 1A baseball, if I'm not mistaken. And then Bozeman varsity softball traveling to Choctawhatchee, trying to go 6-2 on their season. And then South Walton, who's just an absolute powerhouse, especially with that pitching rotation. We've talked about it quite a bit. Will host Winter Park, who is 9-2. South Walton is 9-1. So they're trying to get their 10th win of the season against a formidable opponent in the Winter Park, whatever they are. Winter Park is around Orlando, if I'm not mistaken.
Winter Park Trailers.
Winter Park Trailers. I like that. That's good. I don't know. It looks like some kind of I can't zoom in on it. Almost looks like they're the Wildcats. but their Wildcat has a baseball cap on and their school's logo. So apparently a hip, modern Wildcat. And don't forget, too, there's still time to text in 850-215-6290. You can do that between now and the rest of our day. We'll call it till 6 p.m. tonight. You'll be entered to win a Vibe speaker from Golf Plus, as well as a Golf Plus t-shirt. All you got to do is give us the first round leader at the Players Championship over there at TPC Sawgrass. Again, you probably want to pick somebody from early on in the tournament, probably the first 2-ish hours of teeing off, and they tee off early tomorrow morning. Lots of coverage going on all day with TPC Sawgrass. First tee time gets underway. I believe it's at 6:40 Central Time. Yeah, they go out early. They got to get all 144 players in and out.
I don't know if you brought up the Rutherford score, but Coach Olds texted Rutherford softball beat Rocky Bayou 15-5.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Coach Olds. Always keeping us updated on everything, and he's really tapped in to the local sports community. So congratulations to the Rutherford softball team. I may not have them on my favorites list. I may have to remove one to get them in there. Yeah, I just got Rutherford football in there. I need to update that as well. But, tomorrow we got coming up, Brian Haddad will be joining us in studio on Thursdays going forward. So excited to have him. I know he spends a lot of time with you too, David, but just a wealth of knowledge, and looking forward to breaking down, maybe getting some of his thoughts on these conference tournaments and who he thinks going to win. And then, of course, we'll actually have Brad Law on as well tomorrow to talk about not only Auburn basketball, but pivoting into Auburn baseball as well, as they're off to a great start this season. And then, of course, coming up on Friday, we'll have Joe Bond at 11:20 to talk our fantasy baseball action, followed by Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards. Coming up this afternoon, 4 p.m., you got David Hayes in the afternoon underdogs. You don't want to miss the Wednesday edition, as Banji Bomadello does a great job keeping you updated on all the local sports, including giving his power rankings for both baseball and softball. You want to make sure you tune in for that, as I love to tune in for that, as I learned a heck of a lot about our local sports as well. Way more than I particularly talk about here on the Inside Drive.
Yeah, I tune into your show every single day, and you just tune in when I have certain guests on. How nice. I'm totally
Dang. That's how it is, huh? Well, I hope you don't win your parlay.
Same to you then, brother.
I was going to share it with you, but not anymore. All right, you've been listening to the Inside Drive. Tune into the Afternoon Underdogs for the entire show, and we'll be back tomorrow with Coach Brian Haddad. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
March Madness is incoming, and for the most